Are eco tights even possible? I feel like there's only going to be two types of people watching this video. The people who have to wear tights for work or for school or whatever, and the people like me who are just so cold all the time that they constantly need a really thick pair of tights just to get through the day. Like honestly, my hairy legs will come out maybe 2 days in summer and then that's it. Put my tights back on, I can't go, I'm too cold. And as much as I love my granny tights, I hate what they're made of. Nylon, lycra, spandex, elastane, it's all plastic. So when I first went plastic free, I was like, okay, how can I get around this? I will buy tights with the lowest possible percentage of plastic and get a load of cotton or something else. The problem is that when they arrived, it wasn't good. I remember wearing these tights when I was like really young, like a toddler at school, and they don't really stretch properly and they're all itchy and the crotch is always down by your knees, and it's just like, oh, as much as I want to live plastic free, I'm not willing to live like that. So now I think I found a better solution, like a whole system for eco tights. If you think I've missed something out or I'm doing something massively wrong, please let me know in the comments, because this is like a little draft one. Like I'm probably going to improve on this and get better. But here it is right now. Number one, buy recycled tights. So right now it's not possible to take a pair of plastic tights and recycle them into a new pair of plastic tights. But we can make plastic tights out of offcuts. Hopefully you can find some local tights where you live. I had a couple of options. And if your search comes up completely empty and there's no recycled tights in your area, then definitely keep on searching for it. Because by doing that, you're creating demand and hopefully suppliers in your area will answer that with supply. One option was We Are Thought. And I know they have really good packaging, but again, it was just too little plastic and too much cotton. I just thought, oh, I'm not even gonna enjoy wearing them. Another option I turned down was ASOS, because even though it's so lovely that they are now doing lots of recycled items, they're still a massive company. Profits are always gonna come before doing anything eco, like anything they do is always sort of gonna be greenwashing. And also I just don't even think that removing any of their plastic packaging is on the horizon, whereas small companies can change a lot quicker. If you can go small, then you should go small, and I had some small options. So I bought from tights.co.uk and from uktights.com. Not thrilled with either of the packaging. The tights, they were actually quite a lot better. It was just a normal paper invoice that I'd rather not have, but at least that's recyclable. And this thin bag that I can recycle at the supermarket. And then they had tights just in paper. So I got in touch with them, and ironically, Tights sent an email saying we love to get feedback. And when I gave them feedback, they just never responded. Like, I wasn't rude, I wasn't like over the top or anything. I deserved a reply and I didn't even get one. UK tights, on the other hand, were actually really lovely. So the things that I brought up with the UK tights people were that the backing on this is non-recyclable, but also this sticky paper gets stuck in the machine, so that isn't recyclable either. And it would be so simple for them to either email the invoice and not print it, or print it on just normal paper. This bag is non-recyclable. I'll reuse it because I sell some things online on Depop and stuff, but then that person will just throw it in the bin, so that's bad. Then the tights are bagged up in number 4, low density plastic, which is so pointless. So I'll have to take that to the supermarket to be recycled. And then the tights themselves are actually pretty good. No plastic at all, not even like those little plastic tags that go through it. And it would be so simple to just put this in an eco, like paper, just a paper envelope would be enough. And she was just sort of like, yeah, I hear you, but we're not gonna do anything because X, Y, and Z. And I sort of went back like, the X, Y, and Z reasons are shit. And a load of reasons why that wasn't good enough. And she seemed to really take it on board. She wasn't like, oh my God, we're gonna stop using our plastic packaging altogether, but they were open to suggestions. If you wanna see the emails that I sent to them, I'll leave a link below. Basically, if you can't be bothered to write out your own email, you can just copy and paste mine. So they're the best bet at the moment, but I'm definitely not loyal to them. Like, I wouldn't go in and do a repeat order with them. I would still do this whole process every single time. Search for recycled tights and just see if there's anything better on the market. Because even if they were 100% recycled in 100% no plastic packaging, there's still so many other things to consider, like are they fair trade? Were there any harsh chemicals used? How much water is used? How much CO2 is produced? Were they made locally? And how much did they travel from resource to production to me? Like the whole chain, all of it needs analysing. And until I can find a business that ticks all of those boxes and is super transparent and super lovely, I'm probably just gonna keep on searching forever. And if you're new to the whole eco life, that probably sounds like a lot. You're like, oh, you know what? I can't be bothered. I'm just gonna quit this video right now, it's too much. But this is a whole new lifestyle. This is where we're not constantly buying crappy, cheap, poorly made things and then being forced to replace them again and again and again. Instead, we are looking for things that are really well made and then caring for them so they last a really long time. So you have more time and more money to go shopping with. Even if you're buying the most eco things possible, if you're still living in that throwaway culture, there's nothing eco about that. Which brings me on to number 2, care for them properly. So these tights are probably more sustainable than the average ones that you would pick up in the store, but they still used a ton of resources to get to me. So I want them to last as long as possible. So I thought I was pretty good at looking after mine, but then I did some research and I'm not doing nearly enough. You should buy thicker ones. Amazing, already do that. You should put them on and take them off carefully. I could start doing that. Put clear nail polish on a small hole. That's a good tip. I used to do that at school, but I don't wear nail varnish anymore, so I won't have any. Don't wash them after every single wear, only after 3 wears. I originally read that as 3 years. So another thing that you can do is basically, I only wash my clothes based on when they smell or if they have a stain. I don't really count how often I wear them. And I have this really good homemade Febreze that's basically 50% water, 50% vodka. Spray that on, wait for it to dry, and then it still smells good. It doesn't get rid of all the smells completely, but it definitely helps. So I'll probably be spraying these tights with a bit of vodka and making them last longer than 3 times. And then ideally, you want to hand wash them in cold water and hang them to dry. I definitely haven't been doing that step, but I can start. That's not so tricky. If you don't want to hand wash them, I completely understand. I'm lazy as well. Just be careful about throwing them in the washing machine. Basically, all clothes shed fibers all the time, especially when they're being washed with all the movement in the washing machine. When your clothes are made of plastic, that means they're shedding microplastic fibers. And then when it's in the washing machine, that goes directly into the water. And that's bad for a billion different reasons that I will put in a future video. And when that future video has been made, I will link it down below. But for now, there are a couple of things that you can do. You can get a special fixture to go on your washing machine, or the easiest thing is to get a Guppy Friend bag. And it's basically like a plastic mesh bag that catches all the plastic microfibers before they go into the water. Which brings up a point. If I'm hand washing them from now on, how do I stop the microfiber? Do I wash them in the Guppy bag? Yeah, I'll try that. If it goes horribly wrong, I'll let you know in the description what I did instead. Number 3, give your tights a second life. If you've worn them well, but they're now all holey and sad, there are a couple of things you can do. If they still have the stretch in them and there are some chunks without ladders, then you can turn them into hair bubbles. I've been doing this for years. It's super easy. I have one in right now. So you want to cut off the toe bit. And I've seen some people online do this with like chalk and special measuring things and make sure it's perfect, but I just go with it with the scissors, it's fine. So you get a band like that and then you basically just like stretch it and it rolls in on itself. Then you end up with a little hairband. And I reckon if you go about twice as thick as you want, because then you lose quite a lot when it rolls in on itself. No, don't focus on me, focus on the hairband. Ah, it's a hairband. So the ones at the bottom by the foot tend to be like more normal and little dainty ones. And then the ones at the thigh that are really thick, I tend to cut them super thick. So you can see that width. And then I've rolled it up. And then I would use that as like a proper hairband to get out of my face. And then, this is a trick. When you're eating out, you can then take this off and turn it into a top knot so you can eat like the pig you are. And then at the end of the meal, just take it out again. That's like literally what I do. So yeah, they work. If they do start to lose their stretch, you can put them in boiling water, which will tighten them up a bit. but only for so long. That's not a permanent fix. The other good thing as well, because I have this big pile of unused tights, it just means when I have to come up for a little solution for something, I have a load of material to work with. Like when I took up climbing, I got a secondhand chalk bag and I found like a block of chalk in paper, but I didn't know how to get around the chalk bag itself. So I just put the chalk in some tights. It works really well. There's my new little chalk ball. And people get really grossed out that it used to be tights, but it works, so screw you. Although I will say that it doesn't work quite as well as a chalk bag, but I reckon if I stab it a couple of times, it'll be fine. So yeah, now I'm really chalky. Number 4, recycle them. So when your big old pile of old tights are all stretched out, used up, there's nothing more than you can possibly do with them, please don't throw them in the bin. Globally, we only recycle 20% of our textiles. All of the rest are sent to landfill or incineration. These can sit in landfill for over 200 years. And because they're so tightly packed in, there's no oxygen or sunlight, so they can't decompose properly. Instead, they create methane, a greenhouse gas that is 30 times more potent than carbon. And burning them isn't much better. It's going to create a load of harmful dioxides and CO2. I get that throwing it away is easy, but recycling it can be easy too. This is the system I use. I have a little tote bag hanging on a hanger in my wardrobe. And it just means whenever I have any old clothes that have really worn out, no good to donate or sell, I put them straight in here. But also just like random scraps of fabric, they all go in there. And then when this is full, I will take it to the nearest clothes and textile recycling bin. In the UK, this usually becomes car insulation, furniture padding, and industrial cloth wipes, which is great, but it isn't problem solved. Those rags, the furniture, and the car are all gonna reach the end of their lifetime at some point, and then it's just gonna end up back in square one in landfill or getting incinerated. So the standard edition is just a straight line. Turn oil into plastic, plastic into tights, tights into landfill, landfill into methane. This new system has some fancy additions, but it's still a straight line. Oil to create plastic, mixed with 80% recycled plastic that was gonna go to landfill but has now been diverted. Plastic into tights, tights into furniture padding, furniture into landfill, landfill into methane. We can take extra care of the tights and the furniture to drag this out for as long as possible, but the end destination is still the same. However, there is hope. Swedish Stockings, as far as I'm aware, they're the only people trying to do what is currently impossible. Recycle old tights into new tights. Closing the loop, circular economy. Shred secondhand tights, create new tights. Shred secondhand tights, create new tights. That's it, it's just a circle, it goes on. There's no drilling new oil, there's no tights sitting in landfill creating methane. The only issue is they're based in Sweden. And if I was gonna ship my tights to them, I'm just gonna undo any eco benefit because that's gonna create so much CO2. But they do currently have a UK address that I can post to. They also have addresses in Sweden, the US, and the Netherlands. So I'll leave a link for those below. And again, this can all be so easy. Another tote bag in the wardrobe for secondhand used up, stretched up tights. When it's full, jam them into some secondhand packaging, seal it with some lovely recycled paper tape, send it away and feel happy that I'm contributing to a circular economy and a cleaner world. The end! As I said, this is a work in progress, but I feel pretty good about this. I hope I haven't missed anything out. If I have, please let me know in the comments. And I'm brand new to YouTube. I am so glad you guys are here. And if you could subscribe, I'd love it so much. And that's it. See you next week. Bye.